back to another episode of Tween Book Bites, the Scott County Public Library in Georgetown, Kentucky. I'm Miss Kelly, this is Miss Mary Lou, and we are very excited to bring to you today some holiday books. I would say Christmas books. It is mostly Christmas books, but I also read a Hanukkah book. We're trying. I tried to find a Kwanzaa book, but I couldn't find one for tweens. It was only for younger kids, so we'll keep looking.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Our eyes are open.
Yes.
Yeah.
We're here for it.
But we're really happy to share these little, look, everybody's in the Christmas spirit today.
Even our flamingos.
Yes.
All
All right. You want to go first? You want me to?
How about you go?
I'll go first? Okay.
Yeah.
Well, the first book I'm going to talk about is, Kelly was asking me, should we put a Christmas sticker on it? And we're not. Because it is a book that takes place at Christmas. But it's not really about Christmas. But the setting is Christmas. And that was, when I saw that, I thought, I'm going to read this and talk about it at Christmas because it takes place at Christmas. So this book is called 12 Nights, and it was written by Andrew Zurcher. I hope I'm saying his name right. I forgot to look it up. But Zurcher. And what's very exciting about this is a duology. It means there's going to be 2 books in the series. And the new one is coming out this month.
Ooh.
It's on my order list. So the second one, and it's definitely a cliffhanger ending.
Oh no!
I'm anxious to see what happens. And I will tell you as I get ready to talk about this book is driven by it's a really interesting plot. It's a complicated plot. What kept me there are some slow parts in it, and there's some parts that I don't fully understand, and I'm hoping they'll explain it in the second book. But I didn't really care because I like the characters so much. I am going on this journey with these characters, and the main character is a girl named Kat, and I loved Kat. She is just a great character. So the story, it's Christmas Eve. And Kat lives with her sister Elle, who's a couple of years, I think Elle's 8 and maybe Kat's 11 or 12, maybe even 13. And they live with their mother and father in England. Her father is a professor, I think, at Oxford University. He's an archaeologist, and they live with their mother. And they've always had a really happy family, but the last few months, their parents have been fighting a lot of arguments. And her dad's just gone, all the time. He's always taken a lot of trips, an archaeologist, but lately he's been gone a whole lot. So the day is Christmas Eve. Dad didn't come home at all last night. Christmas Eve day, getting later and later, and Dad's still not home, not answering his phone at the office. And their mother goes from being really angry to being a little worried to being a little scared to being downright panicked when Christmas Eve night comes and he still didn't come home. Still not answering his phone. So she packs up the girls, they go over to the university, go to his office, and there's a night watchman in the parking lot. And when she says she's going up to her husband's office and says her husband's name, the night guard, a man named Rex, says, we don't have anybody here by that name. And she says, no, my husband's worked here for years. And he goes to the university directory. I guess he had one of those little booths, and his name's not even in the directory. And Mother says, I'm going up to his office. I know he's up there. And she leaves the girls with Rex. And Rex is really sweet. He puts Elle on his lap, and he's got this big ring of keys. But Kat notices one of the keys has a sword with a snake around it. And that's going to be important later. Well, their mother comes back. She's very distraught because, indeed, that office now has another name on it, and her husband's name is not on the directory. So they go over to he has a project office. He's been working on this project, and they go there, and there's a woman in his office who says that this has been her office forever, and she's pushing them out. And Kat can see that his stuff is in there, the same books, the same artifacts, and there's a page open of a book. She can see it with a sword and a snake around it, right? And the woman literally pushes them out the door and slams the door in their face. And they go home. Kat and Elle go to bed, and Mom is crying. And Kat finally falls asleep. And when she wakes up, she hears somebody outside their bedroom window. It's 2 men. They're not really men. They're wraiths. 2 fellows out there, 2 creatures out there talking about having gotten all of Dr. Moore's stuff out of the house except a tooth. And they've got to get that tooth. And Kat hears this, and she realizes the tooth is the tooth that her father gave her. Her father gave her his wisdom tooth. When she was really little, she wanted it because he traveled a lot, and it kind of like made her feel better that he was going to come home. So she had it in her sweater pocket, and she creeps out of bed and she gets the tooth and she hides it under a pillow and she gets back in bed and pretends like she's asleep because they're coming in. And she's under the covers and she's there and she peeks out and one of them's watching her. So they've caught her. And they're not supposed to, cats not supposed to be able to see them because they're wraiths, right? So there's something magical about her if she can see them, and then Elle wakes up and she can see them too. So they grab the girls and leave, and they go to where they have parked their hot air balloon and put them in the hot air balloon and start their trek to this world where they live. And that's where their father is. They know that these people came to get the rest of his stuff because they're cleaning up, so there's no sign of him. And I don't want to, so the journey of the book is Kat and Elle trying to get their father back and get back to where they are. And it's a really interesting world. It's not, there are parts of it that are really vague to me, what they're plotters and they're dreamers and they you know, how they manage the universe. But there is a power hungry wraith that's taken over, and he's cruel and he's terrible. So there's kind of that good and evil battle. But it was just like I say, the characters just kept me turning the pages. Really, really good. 12 nights, because they have the 12 nights of Christmas to get this done. 12 Nights by Andrew Zerker, and the second book is going to be here very soon.
That sounds delightful.
It's really good. Really good fantasy.
All right.
Oh, what's under there?
Yeah. Well, I'll skip that one. That one's yours. Let's start with
romance.
Yeah, super cute little romance. Peppermint Cocoa Crushes. Miss Mary Lou found this new series called A Swirl novel. It's covered up by the barcode, but yeah, Swirl. Swirl is the name of the series, so that's there.
And there's two books now. One's kind of a Valentine-y book and one's Christmassy.
Yes, and I believe we've ordered the rest of them. There's like 6 in total.
Oh, so there's more?
Yeah, well, we don't have them yet, but they have been ordered.
Yeah, okay. So we'll have the whole series soon.
Yeah. And it's another one kind of like the Wish series where they're not related, but you know, if you like one, you're probably going to like the other ones. So, Peppermint Cocoa Crushes by Lainey Nielsen. So our main character here is Sasha. She's got 2 best friends. They're twins, Carly and Kevin. All 3 of them are dancers. They've danced for like their whole lives. It is truly Sasha's life. And it's the week of Thanksgiving break. School is just let out. They are finishing up. They did a canned food drive, as many schools do, for the holidays, and it's the best one they've had in years. Sasha was in charge, and everybody's like, oh man, you're real good at this. So, but also coming up is the Holidays Spectacular with a Z. Holidays. And it has been Sasha's wish, like her entire life. One of her earliest memories is seeing the Holidays Spectacular, and according to her parents, she gets up and just starts dancing in the aisles because she's having such a great time. But this year, she's gonna be in it. So she and Carly and Kevin have an act, and they are going to sing and dance, and they've created this routine all by themselves, and Sasha is super excited about it. Now, Carly has suddenly acquired a crush on one of her. She's also on the team for Quiz Bowl, which is kind of a big thing, and she maybe doesn't tell Sasha at first, because turns out that she can't practice very much for the Holiday Spectacular, which she knows is really important to Sasha, and she's like, oh, please don't be mad, but yeah, I don't know that I can't practice much. I have to practice for the Quiz Bowl. It's gonna be on TV. Like, it's really important. And also, she might have a crush on Ahmed, the, Quiz Bowl team captain. Maybe. Definitely. She's definitely got a crush on him. And so she's teasing Sasha. She's like, well, who do you have a crush on? And Sasha's like, I don't know. Do I have to? And she's like, oh, come on. You definitely have a crush on someone. Tell me. And so then Sasha's got it in her head that, like, she definitely has to have a crush on someone, which is... I'll just put that out there. That's just silly. You don't have to have a crush crush on someone. But the big news about the Holiday Spectacular is that this year there's going to be a judge from the local, like, arts academy, and the winners of the Holiday Spectacular are going to get a free ride to go to this, like, magnet school for arts. Mm-hmm. So that is a huge deal. And so Sasha, she is in it to win it. 100%. She is a little bit crazy. She's like, okay, here's our practice schedule. We're going to do it 20 hours a week. It's going to be great. Wow. In between all these other things. And, like, she volunteers. She's now in charge of, like, the mitten and glove drive, kind of like we do with the mitten tree. If you got any extras, mitten tree is out there. Yeah, one of the competition is his name's Ryan. He's an illusionist. He's a year older than them, so he also was in the Holiday Spectacular last year, and she's very worried because he's really good. Mm. And also because Kevin, her other best friend, has, like, been doing, like, acrobatics moves with him, and all of a sudden he's gonna, like, be in this other kid's routine as well, and she's like, no, it's the competition! So she's freaking out, and she's also trying to do way, way, way too much, all of the things, and she decides that she's going to have a crush on Kevin on top of all of it. Yeah, you don't just decide you're going to have a crush on someone. That's also silly. Silly. Yeah, so she's like, okay, me and Kevin are going to be together, it's going to be great. She's trying to figure all this out on top of everything else that she's planning. And then there's also this other kid named Pete, who, he's new to town. He moved to live with his grandparents, who own, like, the local store. The last name is Sugarman, and they also bake. And Pete came up with this real cute peppermint cocoa that they sell in their store, which Sasha loves. And yeah, I think you can maybe take a little gander to what might happen.
Lots of crushes in this book.
Yes, it's really cute. Yeah, like, almost sickeningly so, but, like, just enough that it's not. Like, I didn't want to gag while reading it. It's adorable. Yeah. So, highly suggested.
Well, I'm going to talk about the Wish book next.
Yeah.
So this is a series similar to The Swirl. In fact, I'm wondering, Suzanne Nielsen writes a lot of the Wish books. She didn't write this one, but
yes.
I wonder if that might be her daughter.
Oh, I don't know.
Anyway, this one is called Clementine for Christmas. And this was written by Daphne Benedis, am I saying it right? Benedis Grab. It's an unusual last name. Benedis Grab is the author of this book. And this is, you can tell the main character is a dog, Clementine. And this is really, this is a book that follows 3 kids. This is not a romance. This is really just more about friendship. I really liked it a lot. This is about a girl named Josie, and Josie is a very, very shy girl, socially awkward, kind of a social outcast at school. Like, she eats lunch in the library because nobody really likes her very much. She kind of keeps to herself. She's had kind of a hard life. Her father died a few years ago of pancreatic cancer, so she lives with her mom and her grandparents. They moved in with their grandparents when her father died. So their grandparents could help out. But she's a really sweet girl, and she spends all of her time not at school, volunteering at the hospital in the pediatric unit. And it's like she becomes a whole different person. She puts on costumes there, and she sings, and she dances, and she always takes her dog Clementine, because Clementine's a therapy dog, and the patients love Clementine. So that's kind of her world, is this volunteer work that she does. Well, there's a boy in her class named Oscar, and Oscar is a boy definitely headed for trouble.
Oh, no.
He's not a very good student. He's kind of rude. He's kind of arrogant. He's a basketball player. None of the kids on the team like him because he's a ball hog. And he gets in really big trouble in class one day when he gets in a fist fight with another student. And he gets into the principal's office, and the principal suspends him, I think, for a day or two, and then he's got to do reparations, meaning he's got to go volunteer at the local hospital in the pediatric unit. Well, Josie is not happy about this at all, because he's like dead weight. He won't put on any costumes. He'll just follow Josie around and kind of roll his eyes when she performs. It makes her self-conscious, and she's never been self-conscious here. She just hates him. But the one thing that kind of begins to melt his mean little heart is Clementine. And Clementine loves to get up in his lap when they're in the volunteer lounge, and he develops a real rapport with her. So his thing is to take Clementine as Josie's performing, so that he kind of helps the children interact with the dog. And then there's a third character, a girl named Gabby. Gabby is very popular. She's kind of the queen of the 6th grade and very fashionable, and all the girls like her. And Gabby has a really big secret. I don't want to say what the secret is, but the last school she was at, her secret came out, and it resulted in her becoming sort of a social outcast, humiliating her and gossip. And so she's very secretive about this thing. And so she really keeps a distance, like she won't get close to anybody. But well, I've got to say part of her secret is medical. And she's in the hospital with this secret when she encounters Josie and Oscar. And they know her secret. And in order to help her she's got to win their trust so they'll keep her secret. So she begins volunteering with them. And they're trying to put together a Christmas show for Christmas Eve for all the patients. But it's just a really wonderful book about 3 unlikely people who, taken out of their school context with all the peer pressure, find they really like each other, and they build a really lovely friendship together, doing good for other people. I really liked what this book was saying and its values, and it was not cloying. It was not like super sugary sweet at all. I just really, and Clementine's wonderful.
And I really like that I've just noticed it says sometimes the holidays can be rough.
Clementine for Christmas.
Love it.
I'm probably talking too much. Sorry.
It's okay. All right. On to my next one. I was very excited when I saw this one come in, and I told Mary Lou I called that book.
And I called The Christmas Pig. So
yeah, it's fine. I didn't want it. I'm still mad at J.K. Rowling. That's another story. I'm going to talk about Krampus Confidential by Kyle Sullivan with art by Derek Sullivan. So the Krampus has become a bit more popular in popular culture recently. Popular. Yeah. So the Krampus is kind of like, evil is not the right word, but like the dark version of Santa. He comes to like scare kids straight. And, I mean, depending on how far back you go, yeah, the Krampuses would, like, steal children. Like, you were naughty? Well, the Krampus is gonna come get you. So, they're part goat, they have hooves, and they have horns.
I see a 3. Is this a series?
Apparently it is, yes, but not, I don't think they have much to do with each other.
Okay.
I had no problems jumping in.
Okay.
But yes.
Okay.
Yeah, Hazy Fables.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Yeah, so, our main character, is a Krampus. His name is Ruprecht. He was adopted as a baby, and, I'm not gonna spoil who his adopted parents are, but it's excellent. You'll love it. You find out fairly early on, but again, it's such a good reveal. I can't spoil it. So yeah, he's a Krampus, and he's part goat. He's got the horns. He's got big ears. He's got a super long forked tongue, which comes into play later on in the book. Wasn't expecting it, but it was delightful. His best friend is a ghost named Viviana Marley, who is the ghost daughter of Jacob Marley. Yeah. He pops in every once in a while. He's not a big character.
And for those of you that don't know who Jacob Marley is, that's from The Christmas Carol.
Yes.
Yeah.
So, that's really funny. And they, at the very beginning of the book, Marley, which is, Viviana doesn't want to go by for her first name, she just goes by Marley. So Marley and Ruprecht are opening up a detective service called, Krampus and Marley Confidential Investigations. They open it on Krampus night, which is December 5th, in which, like, the rest of the town is, which is Tinseltown, which is really funny to me, because Tinseltown. Like, that's what they usually call Hollywood, but also it's like tinsel, Christmas tinsel. Yeah. Anyway, this is like a weird take on a noir crime novel for adults, but for kids. It's a very odd book, but, like,
Did you like it?
I did. I liked it a lot. But it's very bizarre. I'm going to be upfront about that. So they open it on Krampus night when, like, the rest of Tinseltown is out dressing up like fake Krampuses, and running around scaring each other and pulling pranks and stuff. And so Rupert is like, I don't want anything to do with that. He's already got kind of a bad rap. He got in trouble at his school and kicked out suspended for something he definitely didn't do, but nobody would believe him because he's a Krampus, and all Krampuses are bad. It's a shame. And then this, it takes a couple weeks. Nobody has come to their detective agency, and then all of a sudden, this weird little spooked evergreen elf shows up. He's got, like, leafy blonde hair. He smells like an evergreen tree, like if you stuck one of those evergreen tree car fresheners, but you put like 30 of them, and like that's what this elf smells like. And he's freaked out because he's like, oh no, my brother is into some bad stuff. He's like there's just like way too much sugar, and it's bad. This is bad. I need you to, he's going to be at this place at this time, and I need you to go try and talk some sense into him because he won't listen to me. And the elf is like frantic, and they're like, okay, something sounds real fishy here, but yeah, okay, whatever. So the elf pays them a lot of money, and they go, and what do you know? There is a very large Krampus across the bridge where they're supposed to meet this elf dude's brother. It's another evergreen elf and this giant Krampus, and the little elf is staring into this snow globe and is just transfixed. And this Krampus has jollified this elf. Like, this elf is so hyped up on the Christmas spirit that he just, like, spazzes out and passes out. Like, it is ridiculous. And, of course, the other Krampus disappears, and the cops show up because somebody tipped him off. And they're like, well, dude, you're the only Krampus we see here. So, like, tell us what you know, but, like, this doesn't look good for you. So then the rest of the book is Rupert and Marley trying to figure out what in the world was going on. There's something super fishy with this little elf that came to us. But, like, what is really going on here? So it's a mystery story, but all Christmassy. And delightful. All right.
Does sound very strange.
It is very, very strange, but in like the best way possible.
Well, the next book I'm going to talk about is the much anticipated Christmas Pig by J.K. Rowling. It's been a while since I guess she wrote the Ichabod as her last children's book. When she finished the Harry Potter book, she started doing a lot of adult books. So she's back doing children's books again, and this is a fantasy, I guess pretty obviously, about a boy named Jack. And the book, a lot happens in the first few pages of the book. Jack lives with his mother and father. They're fighting a lot, and they decide to separate. Jack stays with his mother. Within a short period of time, the mother decides to move. And, I mean, Jack, he's like about, by the time they move, he's maybe third grade. He's adjusted to the separation, he's adjusted to school, and he's got some friends, and his mother's going to move him to his grandparents' house, which is not real far away, but he's going to have to go to a new school and leave behind his friends, and it's all very painful for him, but he gets to school and things are going okay, and there's a girl that she's older than him, like 6th grade, and he's maybe in 2nd or 3rd grade. And the older kids are coming in to assist the young kids with their reading, and the most popular girl in 6th grade is the one that is assigned to help him, a girl named Holly. And the reason she's so popular is she is a Olympic-bound gymnast. And so everybody just thinks she's so cool because she's on TV, and she's like one of the best young gymnasts in England, and this takes place in England. And she's so nice. She's so sweet to Jack and helps him with his reading, and just great buddies. And the next year, she's aged out. Well, his mother starts dating, and the man that she's dating has a daughter, and the daughter is Holly, that girl. And Holly's father and Jack's mother decide they're going to get married, and Holly is like completely different person. She is so angry at her father and so jealous she does not want to share her father. She's really upset about the parents. It's really hitting her hard. She's middle school. It's really hard years anyway. And she's so mean to Jack, and Jack doesn't get it because he loved her, and she's just mean. And it's Christmas, and she was supposed to go away with her mother. Well, something comes up, I can't remember what, but her mother has to cancel Holly going with her. So Holly's got to go spend Christmas with Jack and her father and her new stepmother, who she hates, and his grandparents. And she's just awful. And they decorated the Christmas tree, and the last thing they put up on the tree is a toilet paper angel that Jack made when he was really little, and the family loves it. While Holly is trying to put her ornament that she's made on the tree, she loses her balance, grabs the tree, falls over. The dog, the grandparents' dog, is at the house. He grabs the toilet paper angel, rips it to shreds. Jack is really upset. He goes to his room, he's crying. And Holly's like, "You're a stupid angel," And so the grandparents are trying to make peace, so they said, "Let's go buy another angel." So they pack up Jack and Holly, and they're driving to find an angel. It's Christmas Eve. They only found this ugly purple angel, but they buy it, and Jack's really mad. And in the car on the way back, Holly's just picking at him. Well, Jack heard that Holly has lost competition. That's why. So he's going, loser, and loser. Well, I left out the most important thing. Jack has a stuffed pig that he's had since he was very small. And the pig's name is Dur Pig, because when he was really little, he couldn't say the pig. He called it Dur Pig, and that became the pig's name. And the pig, it's lost its color. The eyes have fallen out. It's got buttons that its mother sewed on. It smells like all the things Jack wants it to smell like. He sucks on the ear when he's really stressed out. This is his childhood comfort object. And he takes Dur Pig with him everywhere except school still. And he's got Dur Pig with him. So what does Holly do? She grabs Dur Pig and she throws him out the window. And it's on a superhighway. And Jack...
He's gone.
And they can't find the pig. And they go home. And Jack goes to his room. He falls asleep crying. When he wakes up, the grandmother's taken Holly to the store. They bought another pig, a new pig to replace it. And Jack tries to tear the head off the new pig. He tears his whole room apart. He's screaming, he's ripping things, he's emptying his drawers, and he finally cries himself to sleep. And he wakes up because he hears noise in the room. And all the little animals in his room have come alive. And the Christmas pig, who's this real, like, Don Rickles kind of character, he's real sarcastic and kind of funny, but in a sarcastic way. And he is offered to take Jack to the land of the lost. No human child has ever gone there, but he thinks it's Christmas Eve. They can use the Christmas Eve magic and get to the land of the lost and find Dur Pig. Because that's the place where all lost things go. So most of this book, now all this that I've just told you, sounds like a lot of spoilers. That's like the first 15 pages of the book. Most of this book is their journey through the land of the lost, trying to find Dur Pig. And it's kind of long, and it's but by the end, the book sold me by the end. Like, I was like, I don't know if I like this or not, but the Christmas pig is just, the new pig is just such a great character, and the things that they learn in the land of the lost is really delightful. So, Christmas Pig, J.K. Rowling, yes, just came out. I'm the second pig that's read it. There you go.
All right. Woo! It flopped. All right, for my final book, well, then I'll mention another one, but the final book that I read, my Hanukkah book, The Golden Dreidel by Ellen Kushner, with illustrations by Kevin Keel. I read this via Hoopla, so y'all can get it, as long as you got Hoopla borrows, you can get it right now. Miss Mary Lou.
It's on order for our library, yeah.
Yes, so we will have it in print if that is your preference. So, when I was going back to write my notes about it, I discovered that this was originally developed with an orchestra and a radio station in Boston as a radio production, which explains a bit why I thought that this is like the Hanukkah answer to the Nutcracker. And yeah, I was like, oh, orchestra. Okay, that tracks. So our main character here is Sarah. She's here in the middle there. And it's like the last, well, no, it's a Friday. She's on the bus with her friends. And they're like, oh, you want to come and do this thing with us? And then she's like, no, I have a family thing. Ugh. She gets home and she gets off the bus. Her house is the only one that doesn't have decorations up because they're Jewish. They don't celebrate Christmas. And she's like, Mom, can we please, like, just get a tree? Like, they're just pretty. I don't care about what's behind it. It's just pretty. Can we please? And her mom's like, no, we're Jewish. We don't do Christmas trees. So Sarah's already in, like, a bad mood. And then her mom calls her brother down. They have to go over to her Aunt Leah's for this big Hanukkah party. All the family's there. All the cousins, the aunts, the uncles, like, everybody is there. They're going to spend at least a night, if not, like, the whole weekend there together. And, her mom's like, it'll be great. We'll have latkes. You can play with the dreidel, spin the dreidel. And she literally says, dreidels are boring. So, and, you know, the title is the Golden Dreidel, so that's going to go really well for her. They get over, there's this huge new LED TV that Aunt Leah has bought. It's enormous. They're all very happy with it, but they can't watch it right now because, no, it's family time. So the cousins are running around, like, finding all these little chocolate coins that have been hidden for the kids. And once they think they found them all. And they start spinning the dreidel and kind of like betting with the golden coins. You know, whoever wins is probably going to have all the golden coins. Sarah's like, ugh, fine. But then things go bad. The youngest cousin is like just doing whatever he wants, betting with like peanuts instead of the golden coins. And her older brother is being, you know, siblings. They're not getting along. Some of the other cousins it's just not great. And Sarah's like, I am so done with this. And she just walks off. And they're like, well, you don't want to win your coins back? And she's like, no, this is the worst. I'm done. And all of a sudden, the door opens. And they're like, but who's here? Everybody's here. And they're like counting off all the family members. They're like, what? And all the adults are like, Tante Miriam, where have you been? We've sent you letters. Where in the world have you been? Because she's been, like, exploring the world. The kids have never met her. But somehow she has presents for everybody. They're, like, perfect. Perfect. For each one. Every cousin gets a present. And it gets down to Sarah. And Tante Miriam is like, I have a super special gift for you. And she pulls out this very large golden dreidel. And Sarah's like, thanks. Great. Thank you so much. Because, you know, she's been taught to be polite. Someone gave her a gift. She was supposed to be nice, but oh, she's not happy. Even though she doesn't really want it, when her brother tries to take it to go play with spin the dreidel, she's like, that's mine. Give it back. And so they get into a fight over the dreidel. And, you know that big fancy TV I mentioned earlier? Yeah, that dreidel goes right into the TV screen and it just cracks. It's not good. The aunt's like, well, we watch too much TV anyway. It's fine. And she's like, oh no. So everybody's upset. They all go to bed. Sarah can't sleep though, because she's like, oh no. I have messed up so bad. She gets up and is just like walking around. She goes downstairs and she sees light, like TV light, and is like, maybe I didn't break it. Maybe it's fixed. Whew. I mean, no. But there is a glowing portal coming out of the TV. The crack, if you've ever seen Doctor Who, like the crack in time and space, that is what the illustrations made me think of. It's delightful. There's just this gaping crack in the TV screen. And this girl just like pops up out of nowhere and is spinning around and is like, woo, let's go! And she's like, go? Go where? And she's like, no, come on, let's go! You threw me at the TV, it's great, let's go! Because this girl is the personification of the dreidel. Or, well, more to say that she was, like, trapped as a dreidel. And so they go through the portal, And the girl is fairly quickly stolen, like, kidnapped by the Demon King. What is his name? I wrote it down. Ashmedai? According to the internet, there's also, like, Asmodeus. He's the Demon King. And there's, like, a whole bunch of demons. My favorite bit, the demons come, like, forwards, but then they really like to go backwards, it says, and so they literally, like, march backwards with the Dreidel girl, and they're just, like, walking backwards. They don't turn around and go the other way. They literally go backwards. Sarah's like, oh, okay, I don't know where I am, and also they just kidnapped her, and then all of a sudden the Queen of Sheba shows up. And they're on a quest to go find this Dreidel girl and save her from the Demon King. And Sarah encounters all sorts of people. There's the peacock that she's talking to, and then she encounters the fool, like the personification of fools as one person. And there's all sorts of riddles and games that she has to solve in order to save this princess.
Do you know if, like, this is real, I mean, just pure fantasy, or is this based on some kind of mythology?
I tried to investigate. It is very loosely based on the mythology, I think.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like, the people that appear are sort of based on Jewish mythology,
okay.
but not, maybe not, like, that much.
Okay.
Yeah, so she's on this quest.
Sounds good.
Yeah, it was. It's very short, too. I think my Kindle said it was like 91 pages.
Okay.
So it was a good.
Well,
good
it'll be
read.
here soon.
Yeah.
It'll be here soon.
And if you can't wait, use your Hoopla bars.
Yeah. Well, I'm going to try to be really brief because this is my favorite book. The last time I talked about The Vanderbeekers of 141st Street by Karina Jan Glasser. And this is I'm having to show you a picture of the book because it's always checked out here. This is a really popular series. This is the first in a series. And I read it this summer because people kept telling me how good it was, not knowing it's the first book is a Christmas story. And it is. And so I bought a second copy to put in our Christmas section. So there's one in the Christmas section and one in the regular section. But this is just a fabulous book. And it's about the Vanderbeeker family who live on 141st Street, New York City, which is in Harlem. And they are a large family. It's a mixed race family, mother, father, and 5 children. And they live in a brownstone. They live on the ground floor. They have the basement, and then on the second floor. And then on the third floor are 2 elderly people they're divided into 2 apartments. And then on the third floor is the Mr. Biederman. The kids call him the Biederman because he is the owner of the building. He is a recluse. He literally never, ever leaves the apartment. The 2 elderly tenants buy all of his groceries and deliver them to him. But the Biederman never leaves. The only time they ever hear from him is when he yells at them to be quiet. 5 kids. They're pretty noisy. Well, the bad news is on the week before Christmas, or like maybe 10 days before Christmas, they find out their lease is up December 31st. He's not going to renew it. So they have like 2 weeks to find another apartment that they can afford. They want to stay in the neighborhood because this is where their father grew up. This is his neighborhood. They know all the neighbors. It's a very, very warm and friendly neighborhood. They know everybody's where their friends are, their school. But they can't. They start looking and they can't find anything they can afford. So the kids, the 5 kids, decide that what they're going to do is win Mr. Biederman's heart. So he will let them stay, and it does not go well.
Oh, no.
It does not go well. I'm not going to go into it. You got to read it. It's funny. It's a lovely story. The relationships between the siblings, I mean, like there's quarreling and fighting, but they really love each other, and I love that it felt so real to me. So the Vanderbeekers of 141st Street, I think there's 5 in the series now.
Quite a few,
I've followed the Vanderbeekers for a while. So come get it. It's really good.
Yeah.
That's all I got.
And I didn't read this, but Miss Mary Lou did a book talk on this last year. So if this makes you curious, words are hard. then you can go check out our video from last year from our holiday book bites. This is A Boy Called Christmas by Matt Haig, and you might think, that sounds familiar, other than Miss Mary Lou's Book Talk, because this is now a Netflix movie. So if you watch the movie, come borrow the book from us, or maybe you want to borrow the book before you watch the movie. So
It's really good.
yeah,
It is really good.
So
I liked it a lot.
just a reminder. Hey, you saw that other thing?
And Matt Haig has a bunch of other Christmas books.
I think there's 3.
There's yeah.
A girl called something, and this is the first one, so it doesn't tell you.
The Boy Who Saved Christmas, I think,
That
is
sounds
one,
correct.
and then something like A Girl Called Christmas or something like that.
Yeah, but we got those too.
Oh,
come
so
borrow.
many good Christmas books. Come
Yes.
get them. Come get them. We've got a whole variety.
Yeah,
There's more. We'll, stop. We'll help you. Come by our desk. Say hello.
yeah,
Do your jingle bells.
yes. I will see you next Friday for the final crafternoon of the year, and then Miss Mary Lou and I will be back with virtual book bites in the first
February.
Friday of February.
We're going to give January a skip, but in February,
try and read as many as we can.
we're going to talk about winter fantasy.
Yes.
All fantasy books that take place in frozen habitats or
Yes.
lands or whatever.
Exactly.
That's February.
Yeah. So I'll see you next week, and then we'll see you in February.
Happy holidays, everybody.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Bye.
Bye.